could be in a two-game sample size and series in a regional. You have been. LSU has scored 19 runs. They've given up 0 in that time frame, just absolutely dominating through the first 2 games in the Baton Rouge Regional. We'll break down to tonight's game in the dominating fashion that it was. In case you did miss last night, I am still fighting my voice being a little bit out, but that's okay. We can still talk. You're just going to have to get through the bad voice. I apologize, but we got baseball to talk about, so that's always fantastic. Before we get rolling, let's talk about our good friends over at betonline.ag. Guys, you can use that promo code BELIEVE50. That's BELIEVE50, BLEAV50, to receive a 50% off welcome bonus on your first deposit. betonline.ag, where the action starts. And our good friends over at Service Hog Digital Media, where they have the right leads, smart systems, and real growth. Get a marketing system that works for you today by going over to servicehawk.io. That's servicehawk.io today to be able to receive that. Oh, no, we're still here. I thought I exited out so that you can receive that service from our good friends over at Service Hawk Digital Media. Let them know that your good friend Blake Ruffino at AYS sent you on by. And our good friends over at Red Stick Financial, for the best broker in the Baton Rouge area. You need to get over to Red Stick Financial. Give them a call today at 225-407-9250. That's 225-407-9250 today for the ability and chance to be able to lower that mortgage rate. You're trying to buy a home, sell a home, looking for real estate in the Baton Rouge area, you know where to call. They're also licensed in Texas and Mississippi. So if you need a broker to lower that interest rate or do that refinance, you know where to go today. Go over to Red Stick Financial. Let them know that your good friend Blake Ruffino over at AYS sent you on by. Last note before we get rolling here, you can send in your super chats. All super chats are read. That's how you know for 100% certainty that your super chat will be read here, is if you do send in that super chat. Let's get to tonight's game. Oh, wait, lied. Here's the last public service announcement. Everybody do us a favor. Hit the like and share to all those groups. If you're on Facebook, into all those social media pages. You're watching us, listening to us on YouTube. Like, subscribe, notification bell, wherever you listen to podcasts. Rate, review, and subscribe. Yeah, I thought we were out of here. I'm not going to lie. I thought we were out of here. I was pretty sure I hit the exit button. I was like, uh-oh, we're out of here. But we weren't. Glad to know that we're not. Let's get to it. I see Bayou Bunghole. What a hell of a name. Laughing. Yeah, I thought I hit the X button. That's when you know you're not being professional at 12 a.m. in the morning. Let's get to the game. Cade Anderson got the start versus Dallas Baptist tonight, and obviously the talk all week going into this was how Jay Johnson was going to maneuver his starting pitching and what he would do. Would he go Anthony Heinsohn, which nobody really thought about? Cade Anderson. And Jay had brought up last week that it gave them the ability to be able to use either one of their aces, whether it be Friday or Saturday. Tonight, it was Cade Anderson's turn, in which he absolutely dealt. Before we really dive into the game on everything that happened, I think that we need to talk about this. I think we need to talk about the simple nature of what we've seen from LSU in these last 2 games and what we saw from LSU last week. Guys, you have given up 5 runs in 4 games. 5. You did some dominating stuff in the South Carolina series. You did some dominating stuff in that Arkansas series. Guys, the last month or the last 4 weeks, guys, you have seen what might be the best overall pitching staff in the country. You do use Jacob Myers tonight. Guys, he threw, 13, 14, 15 pitches. Maybe he got into the 20s. I'm not sure. Regardless, he is available for you. He is available to be able to come in and give you another 30, 40 pitches if he absolutely needs to. Guys, you are in the best overall position, but I think what's gotten missed in this last month, and we talked about it a lot this week about everybody freaking out about the bats, what happened last week versus Ole Miss. You only got 2 hits in that game, and the panic was there, but we didn't talk about just how dominant you were on the mound. We didn't talk about, hey, man, you'd given up 5 runs. 5 runs. Now, we didn't really know that we would give up 0, but the perception of what you've been able to do on the mound, it starts with Cade Anderson. It starts with Anthony Ianson. But when we talk about LSU, we talk about a lot gorilla ball, hitting the long ball, scoring a crap load of runs. And guys, quite honestly, during the season, there was a lot to be made of what the offense did and didn't do. Only to turn around here at the end of the season, and what might be the most crucial thing that you could do is being able to dominate on the mound. Guys, Vandy lost tonight. In the studio right now, we have UTSA versus Texas on. Texas in the bottom of the ninth, and they have 2 outs. They just got a second K. They're about to fall. Ole Miss and Georgia Tech fell. You're coming on at the right time. And before you say anything about favorable regionals and all this kind of stuff, Texas is losing to UTSA, a team that in the regular season lost to Dallas Baptist. Maybe Jay Johnson was dead on this thing being wide ass open. But I'm glad that your pitching staff, I'm glad that your team is doing exactly what they need to do on the mound. Let's get to Cade Anderson. Top of the first, he strikes out the side. He does give up a walk to Humphreys, but he gets to Tallow. Jay, who, guys, has hit 19 home runs on the season and pulled to strike out. Guys, this lineup for DBU has been a unit all year that even against tough opponents, they've been able to swing it. They scored 3 runs on you in the regular season. They beat the dog shit out of Oklahoma twice. They beat TCU, which, where's that guy at who was comparing TCU and LSU? Saying that LSU and TCU were equals. Regardless of that, and that Rudy Poo out there saying that lineup and the top of that lineup was and is a very good unit. And I don't project that you're going to keep them down if or when you see them again. But Cade Anderson came out in the start of the game in that first inning, striking out the side, setting the tone. Jay is a good hitter. Going to get drafted maybe late mid-30s, early mid-30s, wherever it is. Can catch, played left field, great hitter. Pull, got hurt, came back, hitting 350, great hitter. Krause, great hitter. And Cade Anderson starting off the game, setting the tone for this team, picking him up and setting him down. You go to the bottom of the first. Derek Curiel rolls over to the second baseman. Jarrett Jones struck out. At the end of the show tonight, we're going to talk about Jarrett Jones. I have a very good inkling that there are some of you that think that maybe the order should be changed. With Jarrett Jones, we'll get to that, and we'll discuss that. Danny Dickinson would walk. Gus, anytime that you give up a walk, and Bucknam was the starter for DBU, a guy that you saw 2 years ago specifically, Bucknam started. And there was some thought going into the game when he did start, and then you get two quick outs by Curiel Jones. Like, oh man, please don't let this be Sammy Dutton again. Don't let this be the Auburn situation. Guys, LSU answered the call. And with 2 outs, Danny Dickinson would walk. Jake Brown would get hit by a pitch. And that would bring up Ethan Fry, who had a great, great night. In a full count with the runners on the move, he would hit a 2 RBI double down the right field line to open up the game. LSU leads 2-0. Guys, I'm not going to continue to apologize in reference to my take on Ethan Fry. The dude is completely proved me wrong in reference to what I thought he was looking like in the beginning of the season. He has come on. He has been fantastic. And on a 3-2 pitch, on a slider from Micah Bucknam that has a 50% whiff rate, meaning guys are swinging and missing 50% of the time when they swing at a slider. Stay deep in the zone, took the ball the other way, hit the ball very hard, and you open up the score on a 3-2 count when the runners and a guy like Jake Brown is on the move who can get from first to home very quickly. Absolutely beautiful hitting. You know, I don't think Micah Bucknam sucks. You know, a lot of people will probably push back on me. I don't think he sucks at all. I think he's been really good. Now, coming off of injury, he has been a little bit up and down, I guess you could say, throughout his career. But coming off an injury, it is what it is, but he does not stink. He has been good overall. Side note, Texas just got upset by UTSA. We'll talk about that in a minute, too. Frank, I see your super chat. Regardless, it's just exactly what you needed to do. When this team has had issues at the plate, I feel as if that they've gotten out of their approach. We'll talk about this later. I feel like that's what's going on with Jared Jones. I feel like that's what's going on with him at the plate in reference to trying to get under the ball and create launch angle instead of just trying to get his foot down early and hit the inside of the baseball. Let the ball be at deep and hit everything to right field. He's trying a little bit too hard. Ethan Fry takes a 3-2 count on a slider and does exactly what he needs to do with it. Slider, low and outside. Guys, as Ben McDonald put it, arguably a perfect pitch that might have been an inch off of the plate. You take it down the right field line to open up the scoring. Just a beautiful display of hitting. Absolutely beautiful display. Got to give it up to Ethan Fry, man. He's been killing the baseball. Stephen Milam got hit in the elbow by a pitch, got a little bit injured there, took the sleeve off, used an elbow guard. Stephen Milam, something to monitor. Something to monitor. Got Stephen Milam has got some hits in this regional now. Can he pick it up? Can he continue to stay hot? That is a developing story for me, but he does get on base there as well. Luis Hernandez grounds out to the first baseman, and the inning of the first is over. Tigers lead 2-0. Cade Anderson leads the inning off with a walk to Krause, a line drive single right back up the middle. And, you know, I thought here with Krause, Grady, like, hey, man, you aren't going to keep this team down. This team's too good. They're going to hit the baseball. But but Cade Anderson turns around and gets Tyron to strike out for the first out. A massive K, his fourth in 2 innings of work. And then he got some help from not only bad base running, in which I thought DBU was vastly off tonight in a lot of different areas. The lights were way too bright for DBU. Derek Curiel makes a sliding couch out and left as Burkhalter was up to bat, and he hits a frozen rope into left field, diving catch by Curiel, and he makes a throw to first base. Jones is able to tag out the runner who tried to go back to the green bag instead of the white bag for the out. I want to stop right there. That would be the start of the night for DBU, where guys, these mid-major programs, and not even just mid-major programs, but teams around the country come into this place, and I feel like they get starstruck, right? Like I feel like a DBU team who had 4 errors. That was the most that they had on the season. Base running errors, swinging at pitches out of the zone. They did not play like we had seen them, even against Power 4 competition at all, even against us in game 1. That base running mistake was the start of the collapse for them. But there will be situations where people will say, well, man, it's just DBU. Well, you can't have it both ways. You can't say that this team should have been a host regional site team, and because of your home environment, putting the pressure on them, you playing them in Texas already this season and beating them, and now you're 2-0 against one of the hottest mid-major teams in the country. You did exactly what you needed to do. Now, in that second inning, guys, last night I felt like that when we talked about Derek Curiel and him going 2 for 4 at the plate, what we mentioned is that I felt as if that Derek Curiel, the narrative is that he's going to be special. Guys, he already is. Like, if the dude doesn't even progress ever, the dude is a dog, and he's only going to get better. The situational awareness in the second inning on the diving catch to get up, identify the situation. Now, maybe needs to make a better throw to first, but the situational awareness to pop up, throw the ball to first, great tag by Jones to get you out of that inning. Guys, you had a walk and a line drive right back up the middle, 2 runners on, no outs. You get a big K by Anderson, and then you get a great play defensively. I started off the show tonight by saying that when we think about LSU, we think about gorilla ball, domination, balls hitting hard all over the place. And guys, really what the mantra of this team has been: elite pitching, not great, elite pitching, and dominating defensively. Guys, how many times this season, whether it's Kansas State, whether it's a couple of weeks ago at A&M with Josh Pearson, how many times have we seen relays and see guys thrown out from really good arms out of the outfield? Situational awareness that defensively has helped you win games and keep you in games. That's just a whole nother microcosm of what this team is built upon. They're not going to lead the nation in home runs. They're not going to lead the nation in RBIs. They're not going to lead the nation in extra base hits. But one thing is for God dog sure, this team with Anthony Ianson and Cade Anderson and this defense behind them, guys, it's the most LSU thing ever. Dominating defensive performances. Maybe Brian Kelly could take a little bit of, and Blake Baker could take a little bit out of this playbook. Jay Johnson renovating and innovating what normally is out of his comfort zone to go and get the best overall unit for the strengths of his team. Everybody moan with me, as Chris Phillips would say, from SEC Unfiltered. But it's just the truth. Absolutely, positively the truth. And I didn't need to throw Chris under the bus like that, but that's the truth because I started it first. Anyway, bottom of the second, Bucknam still in. Braswell would strike out on 4 pitches. And then Chris Stanfield, who I don't know who's going to get the magic moment of the night. I have absolutely no clue. But what I will say is that I know that Chris Stanfield and Curiel got the magic moments last night. It might need to go to him again if you don't do it to Cade Anderson. But Chris Stanfield was hot tonight, man. Hotter than crawfish coming out of the pot with the ball still rolling. Chris Stanfield will come up in the bottom of the second in his first home run of the season into right field. A guy that loves to pull the ball, stays back on a pitch. I just think he's just transformed himself so much. And at the right time, he hits his first home run of the season. Just absolutely brilliant, man. I thought their approach coming into this game was locked in. Very, very locked in approach from them. What Jay Johnson has done with Chris Stanfield this season is probably going to be a lot unnoticed, but guys, it's been absolutely fantastic. Leading your team in batting average in the SEC and just being arguably the best 9-hole hitter in the country. And I don't say that lightly. I really do believe that Chris Stanfield is. And what do? You have Josh Pearson that's there, Ethan Fry that's an outfielder, Curiel and Jake Brown. And Curiel for sure. Brown pretty much locking down that right field spot. But guys, Chris Stanfield, I mean, has been fantastic. He's been utterly fantastic. I am happy for him that he is able to get his first home run of the season. Comes at a big time. Very, very big time. Derek Curiel would walk, and Jones would hit into a fielder's choice 5-4, and Danny Dickinson would try to lay down a bunt, and it wouldn't work with a put out 1-3. Cade Anderson would go 1-2-3 in the third with a fly out to second, a line out to Danny Dickinson at second, and a ground ball to Danny Dickinson at second. So the bunt and then 3 straight plays to Danny Dickinson, who made everything look easy, would get 3 straight putouts, and he looked smooth doing it. Everybody get the earring out. Danny Dickinson's on fire. I understand. So let me stop here with Dickinson. So he has 3 putouts in the top of the third. He tries to lay down a bunt, and it doesn't work. Guys, he's done it all year. We could go into the whole debate and argument and fight about bunting. You would just be wrong if you don't agree with it. I mean, we're going to talk about Hernandez in just a moment, who laid down a sacrifice bunt. So if you want to talk about Danny Dickinson trying to lay down a drag bunt and not working good, literally it would plate you a run the next inning. You may not like it, and I'm just going to tell you this. You can take Jay Johnson out of the West Coast. You can't take the West Coast out of Jay Johnson. And it works. I will sacrifice an out to be able to get some of these really good hitters a chance to be able to put the ball in play and get runs. And it's going to plate itself in the third inning. Speaking of bunting, Brown would go down by rolling over to the second baseman. Ethan Fry would get on with an E6. I thought that was a tough. So DBU had 4 errors on the night. The one where Ethan Fry, they gave an E6, I would not have. I like Brian Lazar, and Brian Lazar scores the game. I really don't know what Hefner, who is the coach's son, playing short. That's a tough play. It's a ball hit right back up the middle, and you got to get there, and you got to get it out quickly because Ethan Fry can actually run. Like, he can run. First baseman can't scoop it. They give it an E6. I mean, if you're asking me, considering the fact of how hard that would have been of a play, a fantastic of a play it would have been for Hefner, I gave it an infield single, but it was still ruled an error. Stephen Milan with a ground ball single in between the second base and first baseman. So you got runners on first and second. Luis Hernandez not first and second. You have runners on first and third, because Ethan Fry, man, picking him up and putting him down. My man can run for a big dude. He can run for just anybody in general. First and third, Luis Hernandez lays down a sacrifice bunt, and they award him an infield single instead of an error on a bad throw. Guys, anytime you can get runs on a safety squeeze, any times that you can just get runs in any innings, guys, you got to do it. And sometimes the bunt will come back to bite you, but at least you know that when you do that, you're putting the ball in play to make actions happen. If you execute runners on first and third with 1 out, and you lay down a bunt, and you execute the bunt in a perfect situation with a guy like Hernandez, who at the plate had been struggling. Now, he ain't struggling running the bases, that's for damn sure, because he's been excellent running the bases. But when you execute it and you perfect it, it is difficult to beat. What do you want Luis Hernandez to swing for? Do you want him to get more experience? The dude's had well over 400 plate appearances in his entire career. He lays down a bunt. He puts pressure on DBU. Bright lights, team that just couldn't find it under the bright lights, put pressure on them. It's brilliant. You get a run out of it. He gets an RBI out of it, and they award him an infield single on it. So beautiful. Braswell flies out into center field, and then you would have Stanfield up to the plate. Dude, Stanfield's just, he was on fire. He would have an RBI line drive single in the left field that would kind of start busting this game wide open. Guys, when you're dangerous 1 through 9, I know statistically it's not always going to show up, but when you're playing like that and you're going through 3 innings and your entire order has gone through and seen Bucknam twice, I don't know what else you can ask for. You put up 6 runs 2 times through the lineup. Guys, I mean, other than just absolutely obliterating somebody in a postseason setting against a top 16 team, which they came into the last ranking being in the top 16 was DBU. Guys, at home, you dominated through the first two times through your lineup, getting 6 runs in a team that's in the top 16, 15 in the country. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Elwinger would come in for Bucknam for DBU. He would give up a ground ball, the first pitch was really the only thing he would kind of give up for a while there would be Elwinger, the third starter for DBU. Derek Curiel with Stanfield on third after advancing on a passed ball. He would get a ground ball single off the third base bag, and then the Tigers were rolling. So, look, man, that third inning put a massive star by it. It pretty much was the catalyst for you because you would go a little bit dormant for a while, but you exploded in the third inning, and Derek Curiel took a 98-mile-an-hour fastball and hit it right where it was placed, hit it perfectly on the opposite side of the field. So what are we talking about right now? So through 3 innings, we've talked about how when you didn't go against, or when you went against Ole Miss versus what you're seeing right now. Against Ole Miss, you were outside of your approach, outside of doing exactly what you need to do to dominate. This team is not a team that's going to blister you with home runs. Take the ball where it's pitched. So you have Ethan Fry on a 3-2 slider taking the ball the opposite way. You have Chris Stanfield taking the ball the opposite way. To end an inning, first pitch at 98 miles an hour, Derek Curiel takes the ball the other way, and guys, you're scoring runs. The bunt, even to an extent, you're executing at a high level. I want to make this very well known. I think tonight's game was a show of force in reference to how you executed, especially through 3 innings. Baseball is a sport where if you try to get outside of the approach of what you need to do, it can overwhelm you. But guys, through 3 innings, I thought it was about as perfect a baseball that you could have played considering the opponent that you were facing. So absolutely brilliant stuff. Anderson would come in the 4th inning, get a strikeout by Jay, who their best hitter lost against Cade Anderson tonight. He would give up a ground ball single through the 3-hole, but he get Krause to strike out and a ground out to Grady. No harm, no foul. Elwinger, the pitcher for DBU, would sit you down in order and get 3 Ks and strike out the side. Dickinson, Brown, and Fry would all strike out in the 4th. That kid Elwinger can bring it. Let me say this. I understand in the 3rd inning, after the 3rd inning and bringing in Elwinger, you're down 6-0 and you don't want to give up during the game. Guys, DBU has burned their 1, 2, and 3 arms that they have. I thought by Hefner, the head coach for DBU, I honestly thought he made a crucial error tonight, a very crucial error. You're down 6, LSU at home. You bring in your 3rd best arm, what probably is your 2nd best arm, to try to contain a game and go after LSU and get it. I get wanting to try to come back and have faith in your lineup. But, man, could you imagine this kid coming in at some point tomorrow and locking shit down? Because he made a really good lineup in LSU look lost in the fourth inning. And, I mean, I guess maybe the fifth inning, you kind of started to get to him. But, I mean, the dude had 4 straight Ks. I mean, the kid looked good. All pause. No diddy. But DBU's in trouble. If you're a fan of Dallas Baptist, I think you got to scratch your head and ask why you did that. But they did. And I'm glad that he did. It's going to be interesting to see what happens tomorrow. We'll get to that in a minute, too. Top of the fifth, Anderson gets a fly out to Tyron Bergalt. Would strike out along with DeTalo. Hefner would get a ground ball single right back up the middle. But 2 Ks in the fifth for Anderson. As he ties, by the way, the overall season lead in strikeouts. So let's start there. Guys, I have heard a lot of people this season talk about Liam Doyle being the best pitcher in the SEC and probably the country. Guys, over the last 3 weeks, I got to call bullshit. I do think that Anthony Ianson, for what it's worth, probably holds that mantle. Anthony has been absolutely insane. That does not take away from what Cade Anderson has done over the last last month his damn self. Guys, he leads the country in strikeouts. He tied in the fifth inning Liam Doyle in strikeouts. I want to say this because I think it's very critical. Cade Anderson has had 3 media appearances in the last 4 weeks. I know because our team clips them and puts the reels on social media. Every single time, there's not a chance in hell that Cade Anderson will not say this sentence when someone's talking to him. The amount of work that Nate Yeske and Cade Anderson have put in together cannot be undernoticed, and it can't be undervalued. The slider that Cade Anderson talks about a lot, him and Yeske working on that all off season and then translating that into the season has led your ace or one of your aces to leading the country in strikeouts. Now, Cade Anderson would, in my opinion, definitely has the talent to have done this anywhere he would have gone and done anything because he is a special, special human being. I think that we get lost in the sauce a lot when it comes to if a guy keeps going out there talking about, hey, this guy helped me develop, this guy helped me do a lot of really good things, this guy really advanced things that I was doing, especially the slider. Guys, last year LSU led the country in strikeouts, and now you turn around with Nate Yeske yet again, and you have another monumental situation where his ace and the guy that he ran out there leads the country in strikeouts. Some of you, and I'm not going to say who, hashtag always bunt, some owe Nate Yeske a massive apology. A massive apology. If LSU gets to Omaha with Jay Johnson and Nate Yeske, he would have been to Omaha with Oregon State, Arizona, A&M, LSU. I don't think we realize what we have. Jacob Myers did walk somebody tonight, but guys, he struck out 2 and looked absolutely insane doing it. It's not being missed on me what your bullpen and your arms have done for you this year. It has been highly impressive. Highly impressive what they've done. But in the fifth inning, Cade Anderson does tie Liam Doyle with strikeouts in the season. Bottom of the fifth, Stephen Milam, another hit. Hey now. Hey. Wake up. Everybody hit the like and share, by the way. Oh, I see this from Adam. What do I think on the transfer portal edition today? We'll get to that, Adam. Brandon, can you star that? Thank you. Star Adam's comment. We'll get to that when we get to questions in just a minute. Bottom of the fifth, Milam, bloop single into left field. All right, Steven. I think everybody needs to monitor what's happening with Stephen Milam. Stay hot, please, sweet Jesus. Please, sweet God above. Let Stephen Milam start getting hot down this stretch. Please, sweet Jesus. Bloop single in left field. Last night, Stephen Milam took another pitch the other way for a double in the left field. Guys, again, I'm going to keep saying this. Approach. Another base hit into the outfield where you're taking the pitch the other way. Approach. Not trying to do too much. Do exactly what you need to do. It screams focus. It screams maturity is what the fuck it screams. It screams fucking maturity. So that's how you'd leave off the fifth inning. Great shit. Luis Hernandez hit by a pitch, and Michael Braswell would lay down a sac bunt and a 5-3 put out with runners on second and third. Guys, again, just executing at a high level. The whole bunt situation, I don't mind it. When you execute it, it's hard to beat. Very, very hard to beat. Chris Stanfield would get an RBI fielder's choice. He would ground out to the shortstop, but he'd get us another run, and he would pick himself up another RBI. Fantastic night for Chris Stanfield. Putting it right where they weren't. Even if the infield's playing in, then LSU might have scored 2 runs based off of where that ball was hit. If Hefner's not playing back, that ball's getting through. It's hit too hard. So, really good stuff by Chris Stanfield. Derek Curiel would walk. Jared Jones would ground out to the third baseman, and you're out of the fifth inning. Top of the sixth, Cade Anderson would get his 9th K of the night and then break the record. I say break the record, but break the Liam Doyle streak of leading the country in strikeouts. He would get his 9th of the night. Jay would fly out in the right field, and Pull would ground out to Stephen Milam to end the sixth. Bottom of the sixth, you had a ground ball by Danny Dickinson, a fly out by Jake Brown, but Ethan Fry would walk. And this is where Elwinger really missed it, and he started not being able to find the zone. Guys, 3 innings, you had 2 outs where you started to pick things up offensively. Jay Johnson, after Brown got out via the flyout and Danny Dickinson grounded out, he did an offensive timeout with Ethan Fry. And Jay loves when quick innings are happening to just calm everything down. And it worked in this instance. I just think that this team tonight showed an awesome display from a coaching aspect and just overall aspect in every area. But brilliant there by Jay. We don't give Jay his flowers enough. And and he should get it. Ethan Fry got the magic moment of the night. Good for him. Thought it'd be Chris Stanfield, but he got it last night. I didn't think he should have got it then either. But it is what it is. Bottom of the sixth. So anyway, speaking of Ethan Fry, he would come in with 2 outs, and that's what Jay Johnson talked about, was the 2-out stuff that Ethan Fry had done. I wonder, did he do a lot of things with 2 outs? Yeah, he sure the shit did. Just overall brilliant tonight. Yeah, Jay's probably right now that I relook at it. Ethan Fry would walk in the 6th. Stephen Milam would walk in the 6th. And you would have a situation where Luis Hernandez is up the plate. He'd get a line drive single into right field. Again, run scored, full count, and you got in a situation where in a full count, you take the ball the other way. Guys, maturity and approach. Fucking maturity and approach. I mean, I think that's the 5th time tonight through 6 innings that we just talked about. You're taking the pitch where it's given to you. You're not trying to do too much, and you're putting the barrel on it and taking the ball where it was pitched. Guys, just brilliant. Absolutely dominating shit. I mean, that's impressive. I mean, I don't care if you hit the long ball or you're doing what you're doing here. Guys, that offensive performance against a really good team and really good unit can dominate for you. And Luis Hernandez gets the RBI line drive single into right field. The very next at-bat is just another part of Jay's brilliance, man, not letting off the gas. Luis Hernandez would do a double steal on a 1st and 3rd situation where Luis is just like last night he advanced in a situation where someone wasn't covering, and he was able to do what he needed to do in a delayed steal to get a run. DBU had not. Again, that whole situation on the double steal, the kid at second has got to catch it, and he's got to fire the ball home. If you have any chance to win the game, who gives a flying shit about what's going on with Luis Hernandez, who is not a great runner at second? Guys, in a 1st and 3rd situation, when you're doing a delay steal, as someone who myself, who's grew up in a household damn near that love to execute in 1st and 3rd situations and make you make the right play. Speaking of my Ben, I was talking about my son Ben being at Franklin and Demon baseball camp all week. My cousin Clay's head coach there. We talk about that shit all the time. Guys, you got to be able to put pressure on, but you defensively have got to know what to do in that situation. Who gives a flying shit about what's going to happen with Luis Hernandez? If they're putting you in the 1st and 3rd delay steal situation and you're the second baseman, you got to catch it and fire that bitch back home. I mean, at that point, I know that you're down 7-0, but you gotta prevent runs. You got to prevent runs if you have any chance. Trying to get Luis Hernandez out at second and just allowing another run, in my humble opinion, is completely a lack of awareness. And again, bright lights coming down on DBU, and they can't perform in the big time. It's like erectile dysfunction. Can't perform when it's needed most. Whiskey dicked. Pause, but I mean, it's just the truth. Pressure all on you, and you're going to get erectile dysfunction. I mean, it's just like every situation and every time that you put pressure on them, they piss down their leg. They absolutely piss down their leg. Stupid shit. Stupid by DBU. To end the 6th inning, Braswell would fly out into right field, and that would be it. Top of the 7th, and let's get to Kate Anderson here. He would give up a fly out. He would get a Grady, the second baseman who we just talked about, to strike out with his 10th K of the night. Tyrion would hit a line drive single into center field, but Burgault, would also get K'd up by Kate Anderson, and he would tally the night with 11 Ks. Guys, Kate Anderson was absolutely elite tonight. Like we talked about already, you've given up 5 runs in the last 4 games. Guys, that's elite shit. I don't care who the opponent is. I could give 2 Rudy Poos who you're playing. I don't care that it's Ole Miss. I don't care that it's A&M. I don't care that it's Little Rock who scored 22 runs today. I don't care that it's DBU. That is elite shit. Gus, Cade Anderson might and definitely has the argument to be someone that we talk about as being the best pitcher in the country. I mean, he's just absolutely unreal. And he's been absolutely unreal. And he will remain absolutely unreal. Because I think we look at DBU and we say to ourselves, oh, they're just a mid-major. Guys, you can't do that in baseball. We looked at him and we put down on him. I don't think we realized through 7 innings what Cade Anderson did. It just dominating. Absolutely, positively, 1,000% dominating. I don't think that there's enough French Cajun words that we can say enough about Cade Anderson. I don't know if there's enough words in the dictionary to describe, but development, talent, competitiveness, fire, grit, determination, and pride. I don't think that there's anybody on that roster outside of maybe Josh Pearson who bleeds purple and gold more than Cade Anderson does. Guys, it's just an elite pitching performance against a really good freaking team. A really, really good freaking team. So, I absolutely love it, man. I absolutely freaking love it. Cade Anderson is a dog. He's a stud. I mean, you got to love it, dude. 7 innings of just absolutely purely unadulterated dominance by your ace. Got to love it. Now, you've given up 0 runs this regional so far. Guys, if you continue and your arms are hot and your bullpen's hot, we'll see you in Nebraska. Now, it's just hard to think that Cade Anderson and Anthony Ianson go into a situation where they're both struggling. I hope that they don't, but, man, they're dominating right now. Bottom of the 7th, you wouldn't do anything other than a Stanfield ground ball, single right back up the middle. Curiel flied out. Jones struck out. Danny Dickinson hit by pitch, but Brown would hit into a fielder's choice. You're out of the inning. DJ Primo would come in for Cade Anderson at the top of the 8th and walked back-to-back guys, the 9-hole hitter and the 1-hole hitter, and DeTallo. He would get a fielder's choice with a 4-6 by a great play by Danny Dickinson on a solely hit ball to him. I know some of you are going to get mad that you burned Jacob Myers. I don't think you burned him. I think he's still got 50 solid pitches in him if you need him to. But, guys, get guys in there that can throw strikes and get them some work. And if you're going to have to use one of your arms, like one of your arms, I would have gone Myers there too. I agree with Jay going with Myers because he still can come in and give you something if you need him. I don't think you're going to need him. Guys, you got Chase Shores, Kason Evans, and Zach Cowan that are ready to go. I don't think you need him. So we talk about burning them. If you lose a game 3 situation, guys, everybody besides Anthony Ianson and Cade Anderson are on the chopping block or got to go. Got to go. And depending on what you do tomorrow night, they got to go. So we can say whatever we want about Myers. Go out there and get outs and get the fuck out of the game. I don't mind it. Speaking of Jacob Myers, he does come into the game against Jay, their best hitter, and strikes him out. Dude, Jacob Myers, holy shit. If Chase Shores comes into the game tomorrow and dicks somebody down, we got to have a serious conversation about what this team might be. We might have to have a very serious conversation. Jacob Myers is coming on one. Now, he did walk another batter. He did walk Poole. I don't like the pitch sequence. I almost tweeted this out, and y'all are much more than willing to go back and look at it. Yesky started off the AB with 3 straight sliders after he struck out Jay with 3 straight fastballs up and elevated. I hate that. I mean, I hated that pitch sequence. Doesn't matter. He got a fly out into center field by Krause to end the inning. It just didn't matter at all. Bottom of the eighth, Ethan Fry would hit a triple. They ruled it a triple. Blake Ruffino is ruling it a home run, but they did rule it a triple. So Ethan Fry leads off the inning with a triple. Guess what? On the air, the E8, which is what it was scored. Ethan Fry on his inside the park home run is not awarded an RBI because it's an error. I'm giving the kid an inside the park home run. Ethan Fry tattooed a pitch on Duncan, the freshman, that probably left an indentation in the wall. That was one of the hardest hit balls I've ever seen in my life. That ball was torched. Absolutely torched. Ethan Fry can run too, man. That dude can really run for a big fella. Not even really for a big fella. And they said that he was the Rose Pine quarterback. That kid missed his calling. I don't know if Ethan Fry comes back, if I'm Brian Kelly, I don't offer him $500,000 to come be a specialty player. Hey, man, all we're going to do is line you up, and we're going to run a Wildcat with you. We ain't doing that. I'm just playing around. Ain't going to happen. I'm being facetious. But inside the park home run / triple for Ethan Fry in the eighth, Stephen Milam would walk. Another really good AB for Stephen Milam. Cade Aaron with a ground ball single into the sixth hole. Sack fly by Larson into center field. He would get an RBI. Dalton Beck would hit a ball to second base in the air. Pearson would strike out. Jones would get hit by a pitch. Danny Dickinson would walk. And Jake Brown would hit a dribbler back to the pitcher where he got tagged out. William Schmidt would come into the ninth and get 3 Ks. Underhill, Narat, and Delato would all strike out. He did give up a hit by pitch, but one of those Ks was which was pretty much technically could have been a 4-out inning, was a pass ball that the runner did advance on, was able to get on first. Guys, all in all, elite night. All in all, just absolutely elite. I have absolutely no idea what else that you can ask from this team. None. You've scored 19 runs and given up none. I mean, right now, all that you can say is that they're absolutely dominating. Absolutely freaking dominating. So, just great overall shit. Absolutely elite, great overall shit by LSU in the first 2 games, and hopefully it answers some questions. Now, some quick updates before we get to comments, and then we'll get to around postseason. We'll talk about some baseball that we've been seeing here. Couple of things. Guys, game 3, you got to go close it out. You got to go lock it down. And you're on your way to hosting a super regional, which might be against West Virginia. I don't know, but West Virginia's a good team. They're a good fuck. So we'll see what does happen there. Couple of things. You've dominated. I see some of y'all's concerns for Jared Jones. Let's talk about Jared Jones. Guys, if you're asking me my humble opinion, I think that he is pressing way too much. Way too much. I think that his approach at the plate needs to get better. I think he needs to stop trying to do so too much and just take where the pitch is given and start taking the ball the other way. Let the ball get deep and take it the other way. I don't know what you tell a guy that's probably going to hit 20 home runs on the season. But with these big power guys like this, sometimes they have off nights. The swing and miss stuff from Jones has been alarming to me. He's been swinging and missing at a lot. I am not worried about Jared Jones. I think that this shit happens in baseball. And I'm going to say this. I probably should write this time down. Whatever little slump that you think Jared Jones is in, the first 2 games through the regional, I think game 3 is going to burst right out of it. If you think that's what it is for him, I think he's about to burst right out of it. So we'll see. All right. Frank Castle. Or no, that's John Sibley Butler. Excuse me. Dr. John Sibley Butler with a $20 super chat. Thank you so much, Doc. Greatly appreciate it. He says, LSU is peaking at the right time. Given our record on the road, can pitching carry us when we hit the road to Omaha? What is your opinion on our away game performance? All right, let's start with the first question. Dr. Butler, I fully believe that your arms is going to be the catalyst that what carries you to Omaha. Yes. I think that if you go through this regional and let's just say, for argument's sake, you allow 3 runs on Sunday, tomorrow, you've given up 3 runs in 3 games or in 3 days. Yeah, 3 games. You would have given up 8 runs, and how many games would that be? 5. I mean, that is ridiculous. That is utterly ridiculous. Sunday, you have Evans, Cowan, and Shores that you're going to run out there. I mean, you don't even overthink it. I mean, and Jay's not going to overthink it. I mean, that is what you're going to do. So and even if you start off Connor Ware for whatever reason, because you don't think that DBU hits lefties good for whatever reason, you've got a slew of guys. Now, you lose game 3, everybody is trying to figure it out on how you do it. Go take it to him, man. Go take it to him. And I think that you will. And you got one more. I don't want to look past him. DBU can really swing it. I think it's unlikely. Actually, I'll just say this. I think it's highly unlikely that you're going to keep him to 0 runs through 2 games if that is who you actually see. If that is the team that you actually are able to face off with in your game 3. In reference to your second question here, he says, what is your opinion on our away game performance? I think it's been ass at the plate. I think that we have dominated at times on the road from a pitching perspective, and our bats have not found it. If you can't find it in Omaha, then I don't know what to tell you. The biggest thing for this team that scares me is never playing the box. You're 32-5 this season at home. What scares the shit out of me is when you go on the road, because this team just does not hit well on the road. Got to make sure that you finish business here, finish business in the Super Regional, and we'll talk about that when it presents itself. As of right now, just control what you can control. This team, all SEC play, and really, I mean, no. I mean, the only time they went on the road was the Frisco tournament. I mean, through SEC play, you just didn't look good on the road, Dr. Butler. So that's what I'd say. That is what I'd say. All right, Adam had a question here. It's a good one. In reference to, let me get to it because I want to read his stats off here. But Adam brings up a question inside the chat. What's your thought on the transfer that LSU was able to get actually yesterday or 2 days ago? Well, shit, it's Sunday. 3 days ago, technically, is when the kid committed. Let me get to it because I want to read the stats off here for him. By the way, Mike took and them shared some stuff from Braden Simpson, your newest commit. But LSU did get a commitment from third baseman or just infielder, a guy that could play first base as well. But Braden Simpson from High Point committed to LSU, 6'1", 195, 200 pounds, was a first-team All-Big South. Simpson hit .389 this season with 22 home runs, 77 RBIs, 14 stolen bases, 24 doubles on the season. You need pop at the plate. You need a third baseman and a guy that's played that position. I will tell you, Adam, from what I've been told, Braden Simpson was somebody that Tennessee, Arkansas, Texas A&M, Mississippi State, with their current staff, which he wasn't going there, Florida, I don't know if South Carolina got in the mix, but those teams really wanted Simpson. I think LSU got in on this one very early, knew it was coming, and didn't waste any time. Now, let me say this about the portal. Actually, I'm not going to start it on Monday because today's technically Sunday. We're going to do it a day earlier. Guys, Jay Johnson does not go out there and ask fans for NIL. If you have a little extra and you deem it worthy, here's what I'm about to tell you based off of some teams that have already been eliminated in postseason play. I think that there's a chance that some big name players are going to hit the portal potentially. And some of them maybe from the SEC. BuyTraditionsCollective.com. I'm dead serious about this. Jay's not going to go out there and ask you. My fear, even though Jay has done what he's done in the portal, my fear is that you saw this administration push for basketball. You saw them spend the money and push for football. I don't think that they're going to do that for baseball. I don't think that they're going to put the backing behind it the way that they need to. If you have extra and it's not going to hurt you, regardless of the dollar amount, and we'll figure something out. Last time we got a signed win bar from Brian Kelly. We gave to Drew Samaha. We'll do something with the collective again. I am asking you from the bottom of my heart. Tennessee, they push it for Vitello. I think they need to push it for Jay as well. BuyTraditionsCollective.com. I do anticipate that there is going to be potentially some players in the SEC that might hit the portal. That's what I think. So we'll see. All right. Let's get to a couple. Oh, let's go around the field of play. Before we get out of here. So Vandy lost tonight. Texas lost tonight. Who else lost? Y'all help me in the chat. Who else lost tonight? Or today? At 12:38 in the morning, I'm losing my mind. Anthony says, Blake, who do you think could potentially become portal losses this season? Yeah, Clemson did lose tonight. Georgia did lose today. Yeah, y'all right. I think Ashton Larson is somebody that could depart. I think Ryan, the shortstop, is someone that could depart. And I'm not buying into this Jake Brown noise that's being pushed elsewhere. I'm not buying into it. So what? Jay Johnson started Josh Pearson when Jake Brown was hitting 170 against lefties. Bryce says on YouTube, Justin LeBron with side-eye emojis, question mark. Listen, man, there's been a lot of chatter out there for Justin LeBron. A lot of chatter. He's not the one that I think there's been the biggest SEC scuttlebutt about, but that kid might be a number 1 overall pick. I will tell you, Braden Montgomery, who went to A&M a couple of seasons ago, A&M just outbid you for him. They spent more money than you. And hopefully, if a dude like that goes in the portal, you can go tit for tat for whoever you want. That kid is special. All I'm going to say is this: it would not shock me. I'm very intrigued to see what happens with Ace Reese at Mississippi State. I think Ace Reese would make a lot of money. We can't let Tennessee get all these big power bats. So, yeah. Vandy, Texas, Bama, and Oklahoma lost. Yeah, Bama 2 and out. That's all SEC teams, too. Oregon lost, too. But because, West Coast baseball really isn't shit anymore, we don't really talk about it. Oregon lost, too. Jeez. Makes you feel special about what you got, man. This tournament might be wide open. So, all right, it's 12:41 in the morning. We'll see y'all tomorrow, man. Y'all have a great night. Stay blessed. Peace.